Gypsy Rose Blanchard has deleted Instagram and TikTok, and even before that, she seemed to be focused on deleting a lot of her content and arguing with people in the comments section of her videos. It's pretty tough to see, but clearly she's going through a moment where she decided that social media is toxic. Now it seems like everyone has a theory on why she is the way she is and what on earth she's doing. One person wrote, Gypsy likely has a personality disorder. She spent a good portion of her time out of prison on her social media instead of getting to know herself, her family, and healing her life. It's sad and I don't see her ever maturing. Another person wrote, well, she came flying out of the gate and learning the hard way about social media, people's opinions, etc. Not sure why she's advocating for her mother. So yes, she has severe issues. Gypsy Rose wiped her social media accounts and then also announced that she will be offering content on Cameo at a price. The bio of her Cameo page says that she's an influencer and that you can message her for $20 or request a personal video for $100. The videos she's offering include birthdays, Valentine's Day, pep talks, roasts, advice, and questions. Gypsy used to have a ton of posts on her Instagram and TikTok, but now both of those accounts are left with just a few. Her Instagram account now only has 6 posts, some of them talking about being an advocate for Munchausen by proxy, information about her documentary with Lifetime, and how she got a haircut to donate her hair. That same goes for her TikTok, but with less content. The page only has 3 posts now that are copies from her Instagram. She didn't say why she scrubbed her socials all of a sudden, but it looks like she now wants a clean slate. She also released a documentary and an ebook about her life that was her main focus after prison, so clearly she wants a chance to tell her side of the story in a way that she never really has before. But sadly, Gypsy found out that social media is not always the way to do it. I mean, people are very nasty in her comment section, and obviously she does read the comments. And we'll get back to that a little bit later on, because there's also a lot of drama unfolding between her and Joey King at the moment. So Joey King famously portrayed Gypsy in the Hulu series The Act, but she did not speak with her before taking on the role. Now the actress has said that she's finally been able to have a private conversation with Gypsy. Back in 2019, Joey garnered critical acclaim and several award nominations for her portrayal, but the real Gypsy was not really a fan of the series. While she was in prison, Gypsy called out the show and she revealed that she was never approached by the producers and did not consent for it to be made. So they basically took her story from her and decided to tell it without consulting her at all. As a result, a lot of speculation surfaced online that Gypsy might have some kind of a negative feeling towards Joey. And now Joey has finally confirmed that the two of them have spoken since she was released from prison, and she's insisting that there is no bad blood between them at all. In her new Variety interview, Joey said, "She and I have privately talked a little bit, which has been really nice." And although she didn't say what exactly they spoke about, she did confirm that there is no beef there. Joey said, "Having had that private conversation with her was really lovely. We both know that there's absolutely no ill will towards one another. I really appreciated that we got to say those things to each other that were just really sweet and supportive, because people are stupid and people assume whatever they want, and people are just going to make up stuff because it's funny to them." She went on to say, "There's no air to clear at all. There was nothing wrong, but it was nice to just connect for a minute. I think it's so great because she's free and she can really start her life now." While she has criticized the Hulu series, Gypsy never actually shared anything negative about Joey. Not only that, she liked the fact that she played her in the show. It's not exactly who she pictured telling her story, but she didn't seem to be upset about that decision. When speaking to Access Hollywood, Gypsy said she thought Joey did a good job of mimicking her distinctive voice. Quote, "I'm sure Joey King did an amazing job playing me. I actually heard an audio clip of her doing my voice and I think that she got it spot on." She did have another actress in mind though if she were to tell her story in a future project, and you'll never guess who she wants to play her: Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things. For whatever reason, Gypsy thinks that Millie would do a great job playing her, even if the resemblance isn't exactly spot on. And who knows, with all these projects going on, Gypsy might get the opportunity to cast her very own TV series. It would actually be interesting to see a true crime thriller that was made with the person at the center of the story. Gypsy also spoke up about the biggest misconception in her case, which is the way that her mother is constantly being portrayed. She said, "I think people tend to forget, or maybe they don't even know, that the reason why my mom was able to snowblind the doctors so much and the community is because she was so friendly. In the shows, they're portraying her as mean all of the time, and that's just not how she was." According to Gypsy, Dee Dee was very charming, very relatable. She would give a hug to anyone. But of course, in reality, reality, behind closed doors, she was a different person entirely. Now, even if Gypsy doesn't manage to make her own project, she's clearly trying to put out a lot of positive content into the world and use her platform for good. So a few weeks ago, she updated fans on her dramatic hair transformation, which she did for a good cause. She took to TikTok and Instagram to share that she had cut off 8 inches of her hair. In her post, she included a selfie with her new look, captioned with the hashtag #ExpressYourself, and a photo of her chopped off strands. She wrote, "It's never too late to start reinventing yourself, even if it is something subtle like a new hairstyle. To all the girls, boys, and non-binary, enjoy life, express yourself in whatever creative ways makes you happy. Life is too short to hide your beauty, let the world see you shine." She then filmed a TikTok video explaining her reason for this major change. She said, "So what I've been wanting to do for a very long time is to donate my hair to a charity that makes wigs for people that have hair loss or they're going through cancer. I have had my own personal experience with hair loss, not by means of health reasons, but if you know my story, you are very familiar with those reasons why." So she decided to send her locks to a charity called The Great Cut, which provides hair replacements to children with medically related hair loss at zero cost to their families. In one of her more recent TV appearances, Gypsy insisted that her goal was never to gain fame or fortune, but to actually use her story to assist others who are in a similar situation. She said she wanted to work alongside high-profile advocates like Kim Kardashian on prison reform advocacy or become a voice for the voiceless. On her Instagram account, her bio says that she is advocating awareness about Munchausen syndrome by proxy. She also says that she's not doing anything that anybody else wouldn't do by embracing this new viral internet fame that she got when she was released from prison. In an interview with ABC News, she decided to clear up some of the nasty rumors that are being spread about her online. The fact that it's suddenly popular to hate on her and criticize her just because she's well known. In response to this, Gypsy said, "Honestly, I'm a very shy person. I don't think that I'm doing anything that anybody else wouldn't do." She also spent some of the interview defending herself and how she has been publicly boasting about her bedroom life with her new husband Ryan Anderson. She was asked about some of the details that she had previously shared on social media, including that Ryan's you know what was fire, and she said, "Well, I'm a newlywed. I'm newly married and I just came out, so I'm living my best married life with my husband. I don't think that's any different than any other wife would." But the fact that she even needs to defend herself now is pretty crazy. For some reason, fans decided to flip on Gypsy, and now she seems to have a lot more haters than supporters. She claims that her notorious criminal case vaulted her to a level of fame that she never desired. Even though people might describe her as infamous, she simply says that she is not seeking that attention. Quote, "My mission now is to take what I've done and what my mum did and make it worth something. So I think it's really important for me to get out as much awareness about Munchausen by proxy as I can and really try to focus in on mental health." She went on to say, "I was never one of those children that wanted to be famous. I didn't want to be a singer. I didn't want to be an actress. I wanted to do something that made a difference." Now, as she embarks on her post-prison life, her goal is to do just that. It won't be easy though, considering that people are still trying to pick apart the crime and find all these plot holes in her story, which is insane considering that she's already been to prison for her part in the act. As we know, Gypsy Rose was not actually sick, her mother was. Dee Blanchard had Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which is a mental disorder where a parent exaggerates, fabricates, or induces illness in a person under their care to try and get sympathy or attention. Dee had been making her daughter pass herself off as much younger and pretend to be disabled and chronically ill. She subjected her to unnecessary surgery and medication and controlled her through physical and psychological mistreatment. Gypsy wasn't aware of this, and when she found out that she could actually walk and she didn't have to be in a wheelchair, that's when she came up with her plan to end the life of her mother. After the disclosure of how Dee had treated Gypsy, sympathy for Dee as a victim shifted to her daughter as a long-term victim of her mistreatment. Gypsy is quoted at Nick's trial in 2018 saying, "If it weren't for Nick and how dark he was, I wouldn't have gone through with it." And to this day, she still does blame Nick, even though it was also her idea. Apparently, Nick wanted the crime to be committed in a much more gruesome way. He wanted it to be messy, but Gypsy was headstrong about calling the shots. During the trial, she actually explained how under oath that a tasteless and odorless poison was too hard to find, that arson would be too complicated, and a firearm would be too messy. So she ended up stealing a hunting knife from a Walmart, and she mailed Nick more than $1,000 that she stole from Dee. He was to purchase a round-trip bus ticket for himself and a one-way ticket for Gypsy to join him back in Wisconsin. The rest of the money was for food and a room at a nearby Days Inn hotel. Now, what's somewhat funny is that Nick got a harsher sentence than Gypsy, even though she was technically the mastermind. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And that's the part that still doesn't sit right with a lot of true crime fans. They are obsessed with the fact that Gypsy is out of prison now and trying to rebuild her life, while her accomplice will always be behind bars. But there's only so much negativity a person can take, especially if they're new to social media. So it's no surprise that she's decided to leave all of that behind for the time being and focus on something a bit more fulfilling. So what do you guys think about the story and what's happening with Gypsy Rose? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you all in the next video.